Welcome to the map Forts of Eisen in BFME1 repatch 2.22 for a replay commentary in an amazing evil versus evil matchup between the Isengard player O2016-1 and his opponent, the green Mordor player Farhad. So a clash of evil between Sauron and Saruman. Let's see, we have never seen this situation in the film, so let's see. If we would ever see that situation in the trilogy, how would it end? We have orcs coming out of the pit, and two of them are gonna be sent forward. Super offensive move. We will have a Uruk pit opening, of course, from Isengard. He's gonna use the Uruk number 2 coming from the pit for defense, and one of the Uruks from the beginning of the game is going to be sent forward to deal economical structural damage. The thing is, he will need to use the war chant defensively, otherwise those two orcs would clean up this Uruk and they would hit level 2 out of this. And without the war chant, it's going to be difficult for these Uruks to achieve too much. And remember, the Eye of Sauron can be moved, the war chant can't. Of course, the war chant is stronger because it gives you just more. It gives you armor, which Eye of Sauron doesn't. And even with the Eye of Sauron, this orc should not be able to win the 1v1 fight against the Uruks. And this fight has been won by Isengard. Okay. So the Uruk pit, that's the primary target. You need to try to get it to level 2. That's super important. And then you can just spam these berserkers, and with them you can clean up the map. And we will see in total 3 orc pits for the Mordor faction player Farhad. So that's pretty good. New horde of orcs. Because look at the big letters. Cost equals free. So they cost $0.0. But so far, 0 economical damage dealt to Mordor. It was just able to destroy the enemy slaughterhouse. It's pretty, important to hurt his eco. This way, he cannot keep making more Uruks and fill up the base at the same time. And very soon, it's going to be incredibly difficult for Isengard to compete with the strength of Mordor. So how do we expect this matchup to go? I mean, one of the things which barely happens is that Isengard goes for the Warp Riders because it's super expensive and you need to keep making more and more Uruks. I think at some point or the other you need to start making some more Berserkers. Maybe the way to go is with 2 pits, and of course you need the economical advantage to be able to maintain the double Uruk pit. Because even with the Berserkers, at some point you need to, you will have big trouble to deal with this massive amount of orcs. And remember, Mordor doesn't really care about losing them because he can just replace them for free. And your units, they are not for free. That's going to be the creep number 1 taken by Isengard. And the power spike we are looking for is going to be the industry. That's going to be super helpful. I would just make double tower here in the front because there is always a chance that Mordor can come to your pit and try to destroy this. That's gonna be the worst case scenario if you end up losing your level 2 pit. And even though the Berserkers can one-shot, the Orcs can also damage the Berserkers in a 1v2, 1v3 situation. Even now you can see a decent amount of damage dealt. And one of the micro tips I can give to you in this situation is to keep your Berserkers alive. Remember, if they are not fighting out of combat, they can actually regenerate their HP back to full. So that's what you need to do. Mordor will still be able to maintain the map control, will still be able to creep. And for example, that's going to be the first creep he's going to take. And he might just move to the bottom and take this one too. While you are busy defending against this massive amount of orcs coming every 28 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. And with level 2 pit, it's gonna even drop down to 24 seconds. And he has only 3 pits, so imagine him having the pit number 4. What Mordor can do is to control the outpost. The map Forts of Eisen is ideal map for the side lane pressure. So you can take this outpost for yourself, build a pit, and you can continuously pressure from the top side, and you can do the same at the bottom side. So basically continuously. What Isengard can do is to control the outpost, put a crossbowman inside the outpost and a tower, so you can at least have this outpost under your control for a very long time. it's gonna take him plenty of oryx to commit to the outpost. The tower plus the crossbowman inside the towers will prevent him from attacking. So outpost control might be the way to go. And it's very difficult, but not impossible, to play around the outpost. So you need to always keep moving this way or this way if you don't want to run through this pathway. So it will require a lot of attention from the other player. He went for lords. Lords definitely the right choice for the mid to late game, because at some point or the other you need to deal with trolls, Momokias, Nazguls, Witch King. And having the additional 60% DPS from the leadership from Lords is going to be super helpful when it comes to burst down these creatures. So here you want to leave it to Lords. Your Zerka should not die to the creep, but it's gonna go down. Here's a lot of them actually. That's gonna give it to Lords. Very important to give it to Lords. Yeah, good attention. Just throw your sword. And because melee damage is much higher compared to the bow damage against buildings, Mordor is still the upper hand. He's going for the double pit technology at the outpost top side. And his base is full, industry being used on the slaughterhouse, so the tactic and the strategy he's following is super obvious. He wants to go for the Nazgul, or he wants to go for the Witch King. I personally like to go for the Witch King because there is no pressure on you right now, on your beast. And even if you go for the Nazgul, you need to go for the Witch King at some point. But if you go for the Witch King, you can skip the Nazgul and do the stuff you need to do, right? The Witch King all alone can't win you the game, so you need to at some point make some combos, maybe make some trolls, drummer troll, all of that shenanigans will be done much faster. If you can afford it, just skip and save up the 2750 resources and go for the Witch King. So the outpost, very well done. Also the armory is able to shoot, so you can also garrison the tower. But for now he is defending with his berserkers, and now the Zita is going to be garrisoned through this crossbowman, and this outpost will have a great amount of self-defense. So Lourdes is doing a good job. You can draw the sword. You should be drawing the sword and take down the creep for yourself. He was trying to steal it, but he couldn't. But he's super close to rank 4 already, so he needs only a level in a quarter, and he should be able to do this anyway. So he just one-shotted the Warg, by the way, with the cripple, if you are wondering, and Mordor is going for the Nazgul. A Nazgul is with us. And of course Nazgul is going to make it incredible easy for Mordor for the map control. So he will have more green dots on the minimap because the Zerkers will just feed. And remember, he went for the Scavenger plus the Industry combination, so plenty of resource generation for the late game. Good move here. Good amount of damage, as you can see. He's gonna get bursted down potentially. Where is the Lords when we need them? Lords should move. Oh my god. Good amount of damage dealt to Nazgul. Very good damage. If you know, he just used War Chant. Even though the crossbowmen are inside the tower, the War Chant still works on them. So also Isengard is getting lots of resources. You could of course go for the devastation. So you need to first of all pick the Vision of Palantir from your spellbook and then invest 4 power points, so he would have the required amount of power points to do that move. It will just help you to get ready faster. But of course, you know, on the negative side of that move, it will delay your freezing rain quite a bit, actually. Mordor is controlling the whole map. We have no more creeps left on the map. The Nazgul is recovering his HP back to full very soon. And the next move from Mordor, as you can see at the bottom left side of your screen, is going to be to save up to 8,000 and find the transition into recruiting the leader of the Nine. Leader of the Nazgul on his winged fell beast. It's going to be the next move. Lourdes slowly progressing, and you know, imagine him being around before. He could have taken down the Nazgul, but even if he doesn't do it himself, his level 5 is going to make those crossbowmen deal 60% more damage. That's able to stack with the War Chant, so your crossbowmen will deal 110% more damage, and that will be enough to one-shot, or pretty much not one-shot, but burst in few seconds even the Witch King. And he needs a tiny bit to get to that point. So Mordor is preparing for a big push. He has plenty of orcs. So what you can do is give them banner, use darkness, and commit. Darkness is gonna be available very, very soon. Remember, the Witch King also will make those orcs deal more damage. I will be used. He has plenty of towers, but the furnaces are not level 3 yet. At least not all of them. The level 3 furnaces are gonna be strong. Darkness is going to be used, and you need to counter this with the rain. There we go. Rain is going to negate all of that effect, and the time for the Isengard faction to be ready is going to be when Saruman arrives, and then you have triple leadership. So Lurtz plus Saruman plus Warchant. So you will be tanky enough, and Lurtz going to get there. It's just a matter of time. He's committing now to the outpost. Warchant is gonna be used. Commitment on the Witch King. You can see the damage is kind of crazy. Both the heroes from Mordor are low, and it looks like he wants to just go for the missing Nazgul, right? So he doesn't. Never mind. He's making some catapults from the top side. He needs to pay the full price for the catapults because he doesn't have any furnaces. Remember, the furnaces for Mordor, because Mordor doesn't really have a lot of upgrades, you can only get banner. It would also make the siege weapons cheaper, so you can drop that catapult down below 600. So by making just a few furnaces. Oh, okay. Lord's level 5. Okay, that's gonna be super helpful. But I mean, the thing is, because he needs to make so many crossbowmen, and it's just gonna be super expensive for you to do this. Remember, you need to first of all you need to invest 400. Then you need to give them 300 banner, 480 fire arrows, 480 heavy armor, right? So we are talking about 960, 1260 plus 400. So it's gonna be 1660 resources for one crossbowman all alone, and 1860 resources for a crossbowman Uruk combo. And if you make 3 of them, it's gonna be almost enough to make the to make the Witch King, to make the Saruman. Catapults are dealing crazy amount of damage to the buildings, if you don't know. So it's gonna be very difficult for you to fight against this. You cannot just send berserkers in. If you do, but Lord's gonna be helpful. Ooh, double kill for the young lords. Triple kill for the young lords. Palantir. Now you need Palantir for the resistances to fear. Otherwise, the Screech is gonna mess you up. Oh, big hit incoming. Too many flying creatures. Too much airline from Mordor. And because he has triple Screech, you need to invest the power point for the resistance to fear. One of the Nazgul is gonna go down to the towers. It's pretty good, but I think they did what they are paid for, and you can just revive him for free, but it's gonna take you 3 minutes and 30 seconds to get him back on the field. The outpost is generating good amount of resources for Isengard. That's super important, and one of the few things that are going well for him. And he refuses to pick. So the way the resistance system works in this game is if you get level 3, so you will be automatically immune to the fear, or before you get to that point, you need to have some sort of resistance to fear leadership. In Isengard, almost every faction has 2 ways to get there. Isengard can do this through Saruman or through the Palantir vision. And because he doesn't have Saruman, he needs to pick the Palantir vision. Lord's gonna go in again. That's why you need some protection for your catapults. In this case, we are talking about trolls, for example. So you need some bodyguards to protect them. Because if you don't, these catapults feed a lot of power points. And Lurtz also got level 6. That means his pillage is available. That's going to help him to get also good amount of resources. So there is one combo, level 3, also coming from the bottom side. So Mordor doesn't want to go for the trolls. He should be going for the trolls or Mumakias. Both of them are valid options. Because think about this, you know? So of course he's relying now totally on Witch King out of nowhere getting killed. He's relying totally on the fact that his Nazgul / Witch King are gonna be enough to protect those catapults. In reality, On paper it sounds great and correct, but in reality it's not that easy. You know, you've seen what Lords can do, and imagine him going for like 1 or 2 Walk Riders. So he can just go in and 2-shot, get 150 resources for each kill. Oh, this guy might be in trouble. This guy might be in trouble. If he dies, it's gonna be very... Oh my god, so close. Okay, now Isengard can finally make a move. Here, it's super important to keep the units protected. And good to move. Keep moving, you know. Exactly. And before the whole battalion dies, send them back to your base, and then you are good to go. Rain has been immediately used to counter the darkness. So it's one of the easiest ways to counter the whole leadership system from Mordor, which he's totally relying on. And maybe that's the reason why he doesn't want to go for the trolls. But I think you still want to go for the trolls now, because he's gonna lose the level 2 siege works and also lose the outpost control, and also with that crazy amount of momentum. This guy being dead, you know, he's of course way better compared to a Nazgul tank here. Has also more damage, plus provides you of course leadership, which in that constellation right now is not super important. Lords just gonna go in and 2-shot this catapult. 1 shot is gonna be sent off. Beautiful hit. Surround it. Lords needs to move here, but he's too scared of the enemy orcs, you know. And the Nazgul is coming. Shouldn't come. You can just turn in 1 shot. Yeah. And you cannot really commit to this. So Isengard could cover this, but he's afraid, of course, that the lane can be used to counter the own rain from him. And in that choke point, it's not very efficient to counter. Why would you counter this? There is nothing to gain from this covering. The orcs are doing a good job, but you know, the Nazgul is gonna come. Screech, good Screech, and still refuses to go for the Palantir vision. So because he needs to pump out more and more units all the time, it's very difficult for him to ever get the resources saved to recruit Saruman. That's easier said than done. But Lurtz's pillage basically works the same way like the scavenger, but it's weaker. The scavenger gives you more percentage revenue for killing, and also of course you kill much more valuable units compared to your opponent, who is mainly killing orcs. But if he ever kills the Witch King, oh my god. Catapult army. And also structural damage is pretty nutty. So while you are doing this, what you can do is just pump out some berserkers and then try to control the map, because... Oh my god, he killed this. Oh my god, this is gonna be in big trouble. It's gonna go down. It's gonna go down. There is no way. Yeah. I like the way that he's trying to hide some catapults behind the slaughterhouses and such. But each time he loses them, it's gonna donate 150 resources to his opponent. 150. Now he just killed them both himself. And also, most importantly, donating lots of power points. Okay, now it's gonna be a little bit different. 16 power points collected for Isengard and 15 power points collected for Mordor. A winged dragon of Ra. Okay, so Mordor lost both the outpost control, which can be the game-winning move for the ultimate day team situation. The Balrog of Isengard can be valuable, but I do think that Mordor's Balrog is going to be more valuable because there is so much more stuff to kill through this. The Eisen Balrog should be used to destroy the siege works, but it's a very smart move to position them in a way where the Balrog's Breathfire can't hit both at the same time. And remember, the level 3 production buildings won't get one-shotted through the breath fire, even if you're ignited. It's not gonna work like this. But we have Mumakil. Now Mumakil, of course, is super. Now you might say, but Shanks, Mumakil is super weak against fire arrows. That's totally right. But his mission is not be the killer. He's more like a protector, you know. When, for example, Lord's ever gonna be sent in again, there is always a threat that the Muma can charge into you and one-shot you. Charku, also good counter. A fine hit. Okay, we have Saruman now on the field. The ultimate strength. So every time Mordor used darkness, Isengard used the freezing ring to counter this. So the timers of both the abilities are pretty much identical. Warchan is gonna be used, catapults, doing a good amount of damage, fireball, beautiful. Oh my goodness. Okay, now he's angry. Land has been used. He's gonna run wild, but in a way. You get also 175 for killing the Mumakil thanks to your pillage. So I believe that the pillage of Lourdes has potentially given him thousands of resources. Maybe like 4,000. Basically an army full of catapults. It's funny to say that, but I think it's true that Mordor killed more catapults himself than his opponent. But he's donating every time catapults kill stuff. Also moving through the bottom side. Level 10 Lords, boys. The true warrior. So what is the resources looking like? When I would be Isengard here, I would just make Warg Pit. I would just make Warg Pit and then I would gladly trade my Wargs against the enemy catapults. Because look at what's gonna happen, you know, it's gonna be taking you so much time to... It's Garrison, be careful, Witch King. I think this crossbowman inside the tower has to be very highly leveled. Because of the catapult spam though, it's very hard for Isengard to advance, to keep moving forward. It's not as easy as you might think. That's why you need Warg Riders, so you can scout. Palantir could be also helpful. Both the players have now the Balrog at the same time actually. The Balrog from Mordor is going to be used offensively. You might be powerful, but not powerful enough. He's gonna get the chance to whip. Nope, he's not gonna get the chance to whip. He's gonna fly out to the outpost. Which is, I think, the best thing to do, because, of course, you can keep chasing, try to destroy or kill the enemy heroes, but maybe your Nazguls can do this already for you. Don't leave your Saruman like this, unprotected. The outpost has been destroyed. Okay, he's using the Palantir, and he will get the chance to summon his own Balrog. And you know, that's gonna be the perfect example of Balrog being used in two different ways. This Balrog over here is mainly being used now to deal structural damage. It's gonna breath fire. That's gonna be also one shot with Mumakil. Unfortunately, didn't get the chance to hit. Destroying the Zitter here doesn't really add too much value, in my opinion. Just whip this. Don't overspam the Ignite. Ignite lasts for 30 seconds, so you don't wanna. You just need to use it twice. I mean, you can just use the whip to finish off this building. Otherwise, you can't. I think. Yeah. So the way it works is you can use whip. Breathfire Whip will be enough to one-shot every production building level 3. Even though Saruman got killed, in my opinion, Lourdes is more valuable in that situation. So he's gonna try to reclaim the control of this outpost, but he already built his siege works here. Good amount of damage dealt. Now fully committed to the outpost. The Zita. Yeah, you see? The thing is, he's not using the money wisely. No, not wisely enough, at least. What is your, like, you need to always ask yourself, if you have a lot of resources, what is the main issue I'm facing right now? You know, what is the main thing that's causing me problems? In that case, it's super easy to answer that question. The catapult. So what is the best way to kill the catapults and to dodge the catapult shot? It's having something mobile up on the field. And in that case, for this faction Isengard, it has to be the Warg Riders. Saruman. And also it's gonna help you to fight for the map control. Okay, never mind. I'm saying sorry. He's going for them. Look, this damage. Like, you can destroy them so easily. Saruman coming back from the graveyard. He's getting more of them. Outpost recaptured. 11 power points for the Isengard and 9 for Mordor. Mordor could go for the devastation. Just why not? You know, you have the power points to do this. You can also go for the Call the Heart, which, by the way, also works on the Siege Warg. So if you have a lot of resources, you can use Call the Heart and then spam catapults. Isengard, on the other hand, can go for the Kill the Fires. Or Tainted Land, for example. He's gonna choose nothing. But I like the way that he's kind of protecting both the outposts and being stubborn about having them under his control. Lord's being super helpful in those situations. Also here a Warg Rider could be good. Just like, you can of course kill the Orcs, that's not a problem. But it's about killing them fast. And one trample with Lord's leadership is going to be enough to one-shot all of them. Sharko also got level 5. Level 6 unlocks the My Warg is Hungry, which is pretty good because it can give you the chance to send them in and one-shot the Warg, the catapults. Call the Heart is going to be used. Also, for the first time since the beginning of the game, we get to see the Troll Cage. You can see the recruit speed of the trolls is pretty damn high. And Mordor, with this power, can fill up the command points in no time. Also, like, kind of shortish cooldown, 3 minutes and 30 seconds. And duration is 45 seconds, which is enough to get your Troll Cage almost to level 2 immediately. A very useful PowerPoint in my opinion. In the base game it was kind of useless. It was only working on the output. But it's a very important, a very expensive PowerPoint to be that impactless. That's why we changed this in 2.2. Level 6 almost. Balrog is going to be available for the second time. For Farad, not that yet, but it's about to be done very soon for Isengard 2. It's important to play around the cooldown. So when you know that Balrog is on cooldown, that's when you want to make a move. Like, that's when you want to send in your Warg Riders. You want to use Palantir, Warchant, send them in and try to destroy the Siege Warg, for example. Is it garrisoned? Yeah, it's garrisoned. Here you want to focus both at the same time. Good move here to target something to get away from that risky situation. Balrog has been reused. I have not seen this. He was able to kill the Saruman. And he has still the time to fly in. And also Balrog now coming from Isengard. Destroy level 3 Siege Wargs. Oh my god. Like, this is unlucky, bro. This is really unlucky. He was able to destroy the Troll Cage. Lourdes was able to make it out alive. That's super important. But Saruman has been taken down for the second time. Just destroy the level 3 Siege Wargs. That's the main problem there, because crazy amount of production speed. You get them on the field so damn quickly. You know, every 13 seconds you can get one of these. Now Breathfire. He's not ignited anymore, but it doesn't matter. He was able to deal a good amount of damage and was able to destroy the Troll Cage before he was able to get any drummer troll up on the field. This is so good. And Isengard is good, having a good amount of map control. Remember now, playing only with one orc pit means you can't really spam anymore. At least not that quickly. And Isengard, for me personally, Isengard's main win condition at this point of the time has to be the outpost control. Which is kind of keeping him in the game, giving him the resources he needs to maintain 2 production buildings at the same time, build towers around the outpost, and garrison them. And of course, Lords. Lords is pillage. Like, this is, if not anything else, is this game the perfect proof for the statement to understand that the statement has to be correct, that Lords is the best and most cost efficient hero in the entire game. Of course, Scavenge is also being super helpful. Super helpful, actually. The Siege Wargs are gonna be rebuilt. One of the Nazguls is going to be revived. And PowerPoints, like the Colder Heart, of course, loses its value if you have not enough resources. Then you can only make it work on the Orc Pit. And the problem about the current situation for Mordor is that he has to rely on the outer settlements to regenerate resources. Because in his whole base, there's only 3 resource buildings. All the other buildings are production buildings. You have 2 Siege Wargs, 3 Orc Pits, and we have only 8 available spots. So it's very difficult to maintain 2 Siege Wargs with only 3 resource buildings in your base. And Isengard needs to rotate now. You don't want to wait too much, because then Balrog is gonna be available for a second time again. Oh, new horde of orcs. Charco is doing a good amount of damage to the buildings too. Attacking frequently, not hitting like a truck, but hitting very fast, like a rabbit. Land. Just cover the land. He has the power points to cover the land, but he didn't want to do this, I guess. Now you want to rotate. Yes, multiple armies. Not cash loading command points kept. He cannot recruit more units. The trolls have not been paying attention. And in my opinion, that's one of the tougher matchups for Isengard to win on a map like this. But this player did a good job, Like, for me, the outpost control was super important. The map control, pressure, Lurtz, of course, being the win condition himself. And what could Mordor make different? I think he had the upper hand for the first 10 minutes into the game, but he just didn't want to make any trolls. That's why he ended up giving so many power points away from his opponent, thanks to the Lords, who was just coming in and one-shotting them over and over again. So he needed to realize, okay, you know what, I need some bodyguards, I need some frontline to prevent my opponent from doing exactly what he did over and over again, basically walk in with his Lords and kill everything. Oh no, a wizard. He's, expert in killing wizards. Now we have another Balrog. 3 Nazguls are committing. Nazgul and a Witch King have been already taken down. Balrog is flying in. Beautiful Breathfire will hit actually good amount of damage dealt. 4 buildings, including the Citadel, have been taken down. The Catapult here is going down. The last remaining Nazgul has been also taken down. The Wargs were able to deal a good amount of damage. There is only 1 more Catapult remaining. And this Balrog was able to destroy the outpost, true. But I think that's gonna be the end of the game and Isengard is victorious. No one can stop Isengard from killing everything. GG well played, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, you know what to do. Leave a like to this video, subscribe to not miss future uploads on this channel. I will see you next time. Until then, take care of yourself, keep hitting like a truck, and as always, stay beyond standards. Peace out, boys.